It is 6 weeks, actually inside 6 weeks until Election Day, and Virginia once again is going to be a battleground with every seat in the General Assembly up for grabs. And we've invited the candidates from all the Senate and House districts that represent the Richmond Metro to come here on CBS 6 News at 7 to talk about their campaigns. Tonight I'm joined by Kevin Washington, a Democratic challenger in House District 97, which includes Hanover up to King William and then east to New Kent. Mr. Washington, thanks for coming in.
Hey, Bill, thanks for having me.
It's a pleasure. So tell us, what is this election about?
This election right here is about the people and their voices. So we have a lot that's really on the line. In this rural area, as you mentioned, it's rural broadband is a key topic. We have healthcare and education that's really important. Gun control is really important, and the safety of our citizens, so a lot riding.
So where would you start, for example? We're talking about education, and you said it's a rural area. We've heard before that teachers' salaries need to be brought up. Yeah. It's always going to be a question of finding the funds to do that. They did get a 5% pay raise last year, but we're still well below the national average. What are some of the issues that you would work on in terms of making education better?
Well, one thing for education, we need to look at early childhood education. That is the foundation, right? So it's a disadvantage when some students are able to go to a private school because their parents may have the funding and it's not a level playing field. So we need to make sure that we can fund early childhood education. But in terms of our teachers, I was actually at Lee Davis High School today speaking with some of the civic students and history students, and it just reminded me of the great job our teachers are doing. In fact, Virginia is ranked 7th in education, which shows that the teachers are doing a phenomenal job, but they're ranked 39th in terms of their pay and compensation. So that is an issue we got to resolve. Well,
and that calls to mind, you've done a lot of work in information technologies, yeah. And for example, tech jobs are obviously a key, something that every environment wants, every state wants, and that goes right to the education. That is to bring in those good jobs, especially tech jobs that pay well. We need to make sure that we're there as a state that can do that.
Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned that because as far as technology, it's a passion for me. I did technology in the military and cybersecurity, and I'm doing the same thing now after retirement. And so Virginia actually has an opportunity to be a tech hub, Silicon Valley of the East, if you will. We got universities like Virginia Tech that train a lot of technology professionals, and we want to make sure they don't leave the state.
And where will we start with that in terms of, is it more funding for the universities? How do we suddenly raise the flag and say, hey, we're the tech center, everybody come here? And in other words, you've had a lot of experience, you've seen a lot of people in different capacities and jobs. What would it take to bring more tech companies here, or more contracts, or whatever it might be?
I think what we have to do is, Virginia is already great for business, but I think we just need to focus on opening that up for tech companies. So we have Amazon already that's decided to come to Virginia, and we can just open that up for other tech companies. Also offering maybe some type of incentive for students who graduate and decide to stay in Virginia for a little while.
That's right, and you also mentioned the broadband, how crucial that is. How about healthcare? We did expand Medicaid 2 years ago. What's next in terms of perhaps making it more affordable, not just getting some coverage for folks?
So healthcare, of course, is very important. So we want to look at other options as far as mental health and facilities and things like that. And you know, in terms of funding, we have to look at unique ways to fund our healthcare and how to keep it thriving in Virginia.
That's right. And I also saw on your website you talk about the environment. What's crucial there in your view as far as maintaining the environment?
What we want to look at is having renewable energies and resources, right? So our natural resources are very important, but we don't want to use them all up. So we want to use them in a way that's going to be sustainable, maybe have you know, wind energy that can be off the coast.
The prices have come down for wind and solar.
Absolutely, absolutely. And then that will create more jobs. We talk about tech jobs. That would be a tech industry that can create jobs there as well.
One of the big issues that people thought we were going to discuss in the special session that got shortened this summer was gun safety and ways to end gun violence. What are your thoughts? You're a military vet and retiree now, I guess, but what are your thoughts on gun safety, reducing the chances of gun violence?
I think it's of the utmost importance. As a vet, you said, I know the importance of guns, but I also know the importance of their safety, and I know the importance of being trained. I am a gun owner, so sometimes the idea is that people are looking to take away their guns, but that's not the case. What we want to do is make sure that the Commonwealth is a safe place for our children to grow up and for the citizens. So what we can do is we can look at things like the ERPO or red flag laws, as they call it, so that we have an opportunity to say, okay, I noticed something that's an issue, and we can take the guns away for a temporary time, and then that person can get those guns back, or we can close loopholes. Common sense gun legislation.
All right, the 5 minutes has flown by. We thank you, Kevin Washington, a candidate in House District 97. Thank you so much for coming in.
Bill, thank you. I appreciate it.
All right, and we have invited all the candidates here. They'll all be here, and we post all the interviews once we do them at WTVR.com.